Hey everyone, this is Sarah at Health by Sarah. Today I am doing a video all about All Saints Day, Halloween, our traditions in our family. And Beth Ann is the host of this from #Catholic, so make sure you check her out. And I'm going to link to her playlist and anybody else who is participating in this collaboration as well. I'll be sure to link that below in the description. So make sure you check her out and everybody else who's part of the collaboration. So first of all, November 1st is All Saints Day in the Catholic Church. And my entire life, my family as a tradition has just gone to Mass, of course. In the past several years, however, it has been a deeper meaning to us than that because my grandmother was very sick and she was in hospice care. This was several years ago, and she passed away on November 1st. And I wasn't able to be with her on that day, but most of her family, my family, was able to be with her right when she was passing. And my mom saw these signs from the day that she died, and one of them was that it was a Friday. She died at 3:16. Jesus died on a Friday at the 3 o'clock hour, and she later saw that like 3:16 from John 16 in the gospel that says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, so that everyone who believes in him may not perish, but have eternal life." And so we saw that as a sign that she was on her way to heaven to be with God, and that gave us peace. Also, for me, growing up, I went to Catholic school in grade school. And how we celebrated it there was, as a class, we did go to Mass, and they typically had the children, they had the option of dressing up like whatever saint they wanted, their favorite saint. And so that was a fun thing to do and to imagine the costumes. And I remember one year I dressed up as Saint Joan of Arc because she was one of my favorite saints, probably my favorite saint at the time. So that was always fun to do. And I think I will probably continue that tradition with my children, whether or not they attend Catholic school, because that just seems like a really fun thing to do. And I know my oldest daughter, at least, she really loves trying on different clothes and costumes, so that'll be fun for her. And it'll also be a great teaching moment too, because I can teach her about the different saints of the church, and she'll learn about that. So All Saints Day is dedicated to the saints of our church, and I used to think that a saint was just somebody who had done all these great things in their life, but actually that's not really the definition of a saint. At least in the Catholic Church, we know that the goal of all of us as Christians is to be a saint, because that means we go to heaven to be with God. Whereas the saints that I was thinking of, they are saints, of course, too, but they are canonized by the church. And so we are certain that they are in heaven. We're not certain about other people, but we are certain because of miracles, and there's different stipulations. I'm not sure about exactly what they are, but it is a very strict process for canonizing somebody to be a saint. So for Halloween, it wasn't until last year, when my daughter was about 18 months, that I even did something official for Halloween. I kind of dressed her up in this, it wasn't an actual costume, like when she was a newborn. It was like a Thanksgiving or turkey outfit or something, and that's all I had. But then last year I got more of an official costume, and people were asking me, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to take her trick-or-treating? And when I said no, they would like look at me flabbergasted, like thinking like I'm a horrible person, like not taking my daughter out, she's missing out. But I don't really see it that way. Because at the time she had no idea what candy was. She still really doesn't either, because we don't really keep it in our house. I don't offer it to her. I just try to feed her nutrient-dense food all the time, and she doesn't really desire it because we don't have it around. And I'm just trying to make sure she grows big and strong, like to nourish her as much as I can before she starts getting inundated with all this candy and sugar and processed food all the time. So I'm trying to make her as healthy as possible before all that happens. But anyway, so last year what we did, I got her a cute little costume, and I didn't take her trick-or-treating, but she answered the door with me while we offered candy and little toys to kids answering our door, and she had so much fun doing that with me. She was smiling and laughing, saying hi to everybody who answered the door, and she really had such a great time. And I think that was more fun than she would have had just walking around with us. I mean, she probably wouldn't have lasted that long walking around the neighborhood because she was so small. Now might be a different story, but I haven't 100% decided what we'll do this year, but I'm pretty sure we'll do the same thing, especially because we have a newborn now too. Let me show you. My mother-in-law got these cute little ladybug costumes. So they're gonna match this year. This is actually what I wanted my oldest to be last year, but I could not find a ladybug costume. But I'm so happy they have matching costumes like this. They'll be so adorable this year, and maybe we'll simply just answer the door again this year. Some people suggested last year that we just like take her around in the costume and like just take her to a few neighbors' doors that we know, but I was like, oh, that's kind of silly. I don't know. And then I didn't want to take her to like strangers' door just to show off her costume. But who knows? If she wants to go this year, then I guess we'll take her, but we probably won't let her keep the candy because I know she'll probably just go crazy. Like even if she has too much fruit or carbohydrates, she can act a little different. So I know I definitely need to be careful. So some people, they just do what's called the switch, and they let their kids like get a bucket of candy, but then they say, okay, we're gonna trade in this candy for some cash, or trade in this candy for some other things that you might want, other little toys or prizes. And that seems like a great alternative to just like stuffing them with candy and all these food dyes and processed food. Even if you were to get like unprocessed candy with just like sugar, organic sugar in it, and I don't know what else, just cleaner ingredients, it's still loading them up with a bunch of sugar. So you probably want to limit that, even if it's organic, unprocessed candy. So I'll probably do something like that when she actually starts getting candy. There's different alternatives people have out there, but I know we still have time to decide on that. I'd love to hear what you guys actually do in the comments with your kids, or what you're thinking about doing. And I may do carving pumpkins with them this year or next year, taking them to a pumpkin patch. I'm filming this video a couple weeks before Halloween and All Saints Day, so I still have time to decide. But one thing I've been doing over the past year is I got this huge pumpkin last year from the farmer's market, and I just cooked it and scooped out all the pumpkin from it. It's like a pie pumpkin, but it was huge. And put in the food processor, and then I just bagged it, like 2 cups for each one. I got a bunch, from that one pumpkin. It was like really amazing. I think I paid $5 or $10 for it, and I got a ton of pumpkin. But I cooked this recipe called pumpkin bone marrow custard, and I've had my daughter make it with me a number of times. She's had a lot of fun making it, and it's a very nutrient dense custard because it has bone marrow in it. It has eggs, coconut cream or milk, and I just put like a minimal amount of sugar from honey or maple syrup in. So it's actually a very healthy recipe overall. But anyway, these are the ways that I celebrate Halloween, All Saints Day in our family. I would love to hear how you celebrate it too. And like I mentioned at the beginning, make sure you check out the other women's channels and their videos on this series. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell if you want to know when I post. Until next time, happy Halloween and happy All Saints Day.